Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, Parish Construction and Roofing, Unique Physique, Restored Motions. USC has their starting quarterback. It's Miller Moss. Not a great surprise there, but now we know who will be under center for the Trojans as they take on the Tigers a week from Sunday in Las Vegas. As always, shout out to our sponsors, Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist. They're the best. Parish Construction and Roofing. We'd love to help you out. Visit parishbuilt.com. Roof inspection, repairs, replacements. We do it all. A Unique Physique, semaglutide, tirzepatide, once a week injections for weight loss. Telemed option, so you don't have to go to the office, and they'll ship your medicine anywhere in the country, so you can be outside of Baton Rouge and still use Unique Physique. And Restored Motions, restoredmotions.com. If you got pain, book a session with Crystal Poche at Restored Motions. Okay, y'all, we'll say some good mornings. Saints are also back on the practice field tonight. They'll have a night practice over at Ullman. I think that's a pretty cool tradition that they've started. I guess I use the word tradition loosely, but yeah, but I guess that's what it is. Something they've started now where they'll practice on Tulane's campus at Ullman Stadium, and fans are obviously invited to attend, and it's a night practice under the lights. So pretty cool thing. Saints had the day off yesterday after playing Sunday evening, so we should get some injury updates today and see how they look as they get ready for the third and final preseason game coming up this weekend against the Tennessee Titans. Of course, we'll have the 90-man roster cut down to 53 after this weekend. And LSU back on the practice field again today, but no media availability again. Brian Kelly's been great with the access up to this point for these first 3 weeks, and then he told us on Saturday that preparation for USC begins today. So they'll start almost as if this were like the open date before a game. So they'll use this week kind of like they would use the open date, how they'll start their preparation before next week they get into full game week mode. So a lot on the docket there. And as always, please check out, if you haven't yet, louisianasports.net. You know what I've been doing since I have the graphics here on the side? I haven't been using our banner here because what do y'all think? I mean, I guess I thought that kind of cuts off the Restored Motions logo a bit, but I think Erica bumped it up, so it should be good. I think I'll leave that. Unless if y'all object, let me know what you think. Okay, let's say some good mornings here. You know the drill. Smash that like button on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post, all that good stuff. And we'll say some good mornings here. Hey, Matt, good morning. 8 days straight. Get that money ball. Brian Wynn, Rocky Killian, Larry Garner, Wacky Chris, what up? Getting Luca ready for carpool line. What's the tell on USC starting quarterback? So honestly, Miller Moss is not that dissimilar from Garrett Nussmeier. Just like, it's so interesting how similar these teams are. So we've talked about obviously replacing a Heisman winning quarterback, and defenses were atrocious last year. So Miller Moss is 6'2", 200 pounds. From the class of 21, like Garrett Nussmeier was. He was a 4-star, and he's waited his turn, and he's a redshirt junior, so he's a fourth-year guy. He just hasn't played very much. So it's like, I'll tell you his career stats here. It's just so interesting because these two teams are so similar. So Moss last year threw for 681 yards, 7 touchdowns, and a pick. Nussmeier last year, So again, Miller Moss threw for 681, 7 touchdowns, and a pick. Garrett Nussmeier, 591, 4 touchdowns, and a pick. I mean, both are redshirt juniors. Both are 6'2". Nuss is 6'2", 198. Moss is 6'2", 197. I mean, it's so bizarre how similar these teams are. So people at SC are feeling the same way about Miller Moss as LSU fans are feeling about Nussmeier. It's a fourth-year player who's waited his turn and kind of been a backup, mop-up duty type deal. And but now he's going to get a shot. So Moss started the bowl game just like Nussmeier started the bowl game. So, yeah, in the bowl game, Moss threw for 372, 6 touchdowns and a pick. Nuss threw for 395, 3 touchdowns and a pick. I mean, it's it's just bizarre. I mean, these teams are mirror images of each other. I mean, that's bizarre. Even to the stat lines with those two guys is bizarre. Cameron, good morning. Jacob Thompson, morning, Matt. Looking forward to seeing JD5 play this season in Washington. I think can make them a good team, but I do miss him at LSU. He was my favorite player since Devin White. Yeah, man. Look, he was awesome. He was, it was a lot of fun to watch. I miss him too. It was a lot of fun to watch. But yeah, I think with Washington, I think he went to a good situation in Washington. I really do. I know Washington has not been a great franchise, but a few things that I like. Number one, obviously no more Dan Snyder. So you've got less crazy ownership. Dan Quinn is the head coach, and similar to Dennis Allen, everywhere Dan Quinn's been, he's had good defenses. And I do understand in Atlanta he got fired, but he got him to a Super Bowl. And yes, he got him to a Super Bowl when Kyle Shanahan was his offensive coordinator. That's sort of, I mean, he made Matt Ryan an MVP and was up 28-3 in the Super Bowl, right? So, but the point being, if Dan Quinn has good defense, that takes a lot of the pressure off Jayden Daniels to be great as a rookie. And because you have a defensive-minded head coach and a first-year head coach in Washington, I think you'll probably have some stability. I don't think that Washington's going to look to fire Dan Quinn after 1 year. So even if it goes poorly, so I think you'll have some stability. The flip side of that, I think, is Caleb Williams. As much as people are talking about him, Matt Eberflus was on the hot seat, and I think he runs a very different offense than what Caleb Williams would feature. Now they got a lot of weapons and a lot of talent there, but what if it goes poorly this year with a rookie quarterback in Chicago? I think Matt Eberflus is probably fired, and then you're hiring a new coach for Caleb Williams, and there's a little turnover there. So I do think Jayden will do well there. Jason, good morning. Heard the Matt shuffle randomly on radio. Very cool. Yeah, man. It's you should hear it across all of our guarantee stations. Like you should hear it on Eagle 98.1, on 100.7 The Tiger, Talk 107.3, and obviously 104.5 ESPN. So yeah, man. My phone is blowing up. Jared Weems, good morning. Abner Neal, good morning. Bradley Ingrafia, good morning. Brett DeGrow, GB Beck, any updates on Scone and T? I should have an update, and it might not be Wednesday. Might be Thursday. And I should know this week. So for the deal to come together, there has to be two things happen. One thing has already happened. We're waiting on the other, and that hopefully happens this week. If it does, Scone and T will return. Brett Gidry, good morning. Recruiting is booming. When did Louisiana become rich with top quarterbacks? LOL. I saw a 2027 quarterback stacked in Louisiana. Well, I think the advent of 7-on-7s is when we've started to see better quarterback play in Louisiana. This state traditionally in high school was dominated by teams that ran the veer, like John Curtis, or Acadiana, and programs that by and large would put their best athlete at quarterback, not necessarily pro-style quarterbacks. So, Wark Dunn is an example. Wark Dunn was a quarterback at Catholic High. I think 7-on-7s have changed that. And it's refined passing games. And I think as offense has evolved, you've just seen that. So when has it happened? I think really it's happened in the last, I think the last 5 years is probably where we've really seen the boom. You had Arch and Eli Holstein, Ricky Collins. Who am I forgetting? Of course, now I'm trying to think of it. I'm blanking. But, this is really where you've had the boom. You got Elijah Haven, who you mentioned for the class of 2027 from Dunham, who's the number one player in the country. I think that's been just a big part of it is 7-on-7. Randy Dab Dude was just watching Locked On. Great show. Is that a live daily post? Hey, Randy, thanks so much, man. So I record Locked On at night and schedule it to publish in the morning. So if you want to listen to the podcast, that publishes at like 3 a.m. And the YouTube video goes live at 7 Central. So, but that's every day. And I've been, we're required to do Monday through Friday in season. But I haven't missed a day. I like Morning Scone. I haven't missed a day. I've done weekends and everything ever since I started it. So check it out, man. Please subscribe, YouTube or podcast. And candidly, podcast helps us more. Both are great, but podcast is weighted a little more heavily, from a CPM. That's cost per thousand. So, excuse me, neck cracked. But either way, would be great. Hey, Mark, good morning. Yep. Saints tonight at Ullman. Melody, good morning. Pause Locked On, and we'll finish on my way to work. Thank you, Melody. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, I know this is it's tricky because we overlap, right? We go Locked On but at 7 and then this at 7:15. But the timing has worked out really good with Drew's drop off at school the couple days we've done it this way. So this is probably what we'll stick with is going live at 7:15 and then from 7:15 to 7:45. Let's see, Matt. What hour does Shay come on? Want to hear his thoughts about Jonah Williams? Yes, so Shay is on at 3:15 Central, so that's hour 1 on AFR today. And Jonah Williams announces this weekend. Aiden Anding announces this weekend. There's another player that Shay talked about. Jordan Crawford. I think it's Jordan Crawford, the defensive lineman out of Georgia, not out of Birmingham. Yeah. Currently an Auburn commit. Could be an LSU flip. Worth keeping an eye on there as well. All right. So a lot of ground to cover today with Shay. Kelly Gross, good morning. Brandon Tilley, Charlie Cavell, what's up? Hey, Gorilla, good morning. Cajun Country, good morning. Need to say that Lou Headley Lamar had to go. Just because he is Australian does not mean he's good. Lou Headley had a rough day, no doubt. And it was compounded by the fact that Matt Matthew Hayball had a good day. So yeah, I think Lou Headley could be in his job could be in jeopardy. And I wouldn't normally think that, but we saw it last year where the two incumbents, Lutz and Gillikin, lost their job. So I think he very much could be in jeopardy. Brian Broom, good morning. Brad David, good morning. Yesterday, you talked about how bad the 98 team was. I looked it up. It was interesting. They lost 5 games by 1 score or less. Yeah, so Brad, they were, I remember the season very, very well. They were atrocious defensively. Sound familiar? They hired Lou Tepper as their defensive coordinator. The drop linebacker was a punchline around here for many years. They returned. The unfortunate part about that season in 98 is they were preseason top 10, but they returned a ton of talent. So Herb Tyler was a senior. Kevin Falk came back for his senior year. Todd McClure was a senior. Booger McFarland was a senior. They had, I think Mark Roman was on that team. They had a lot of guys back, and the offense was good, but they were atrocious defensively, and they couldn't get stops. They lost at home to Quincy Carter in Georgia, 28-27. Quincy was a freshman that year. They lost to Tim Couch in Kentucky, where that was a 41-34 type game. They lost to Florida in Gainesville. That was the year after, of course, LSU upset Florida in Tiger Stadium. And LSU wore gold jerseys for that game in Gainesville that year because Spurrier was all ticked that LSU wore white at home and beat them. So Spurrier wanted to wear white at home. And so LSU wouldn't wear its purple. It wore gold jerseys in that game against Florida in 98 down in the swamp, but lost. But yeah, they went, they went on a 3-game losing streak where they lost that game 28-27 to Georgia. They lost 22-10 Florida. They 39-36 was the final against Kentucky. Kentucky kicked a field goal at the end of the game to win it. LSU beat Mississippi State. Then they finished the season on a 4-game losing streak. They lost at Ole Miss in overtime 37-31. They lost to Bama 22-16. They went to South Bend. I was at that game too, by the way. Lost that by an identical 39-36, same score that they lost to Kentucky. And Kevin Falk had a kickoff return for a touchdown, or was it a punt return? The kickoff return or a punt return for a touchdown in that game. And then they came home and it got absolutely blasted by Arkansas 41-14. So, and 98 was the year. Was 98 the year Mississippi State went to the SEC championship game? The LSU one of their 2 SEC wins. They beat Auburn and Mississippi State. But I'm pretty sure that was the year State won the West and went to Atlanta. Yeah. Yeah. They went to Atlanta and lost to Tennessee. That was the Tennessee team that went on to win the national championship, of course. Anyway, how about that little stroll down memory lane in 1998? Like y'all cared about that. Tommy Primo, good morning. Let's see. What year do you think Underwood starts? Well, I think it depends if Garrett comes back. If Garrett comes back next year, I think he's your starter. Hang on one second. I got to turn off Drew's sound machine. Hang on one second. Literally a second. Okay, maybe that was like 15 seconds. Anyway, please smash the like button if you would. Subscribe to the channel. Garrett Douglas, good morning. So an Evermore truck unloading at my local gas station this morning. Appreciate that, Garrett. Now, next time when you're at your local gas station, see the truck, pop one in there and buy some Evermore. That would be great. Cheers. Brian Penn, good morning from Wilmington, Delaware. We're in Delaware. Hey, Dad, good morning. Brad David, do you think Nick's workout in Denver would be a bust? I think he could fit what Sean Payton does. Sean Payton is all about getting the ball out quickly, efficiently, in space, get the ball to your playmakers. And Drew Brees functioned brilliantly within that because he was so accurate and made good decisions. If Bo Nix can be accurate and make good decisions, and I think he could function within that. I am not, however, going to do what a lot of people are doing right now, which is anointing Bo Nix because he's playing well in the preseason. I don't care if you play well in the preseason. Let me see when it's actually for real what happens. Trivia Carter, good morning. Elijah Steele, Matt, anything different you're wanting to see at the next practice with media availability? Not that they're starting USC prep. I just want to see Garrett Nussmeier protect the football because that's the one thing we've seen pretty consistently in team periods is he's turned the ball over. And look, last year, Jayden Daniels threw 40 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. I don't think LSU's getting through this season with just 4 interceptions. That's absurd. But we have seen turnovers, and that concerns me. All right, let's see. Rocky, full disclosure, I like Carr. Reports are he's looked good in camp in Kubiak's system. You may not agree, but do you think it's possible that the young guys are pushing him to be better? Hey, I'm trying here. No, I don't. Brian Wynn, Matt, is this the last year we start with a neutral site opener? Yeah, next year, I think next year is Clemson. I think the next 2 years are Clemson. 2025 LSU football schedule. I'm almost positive the next 2 years are Clemson. Let's see. Yep. So next year, LSU opens at Clemson on August 30th. And then the following year, 26, Clemson opens here. And then Dabo might be fired by then. Let's see, then 27, is the opener. I think that was when they had the Oklahoma series scheduled that they had to cancel because now they're in the conference. 29 and 30 is Arizona State. 29 Arizona State is here, then 30 LSU goes there. Chance, Washington plays the Bengals this season. That'll be a great day for LSU branding. That's true. Charlie, in addition to his incredible athleticism, JD5 took care of the football. Big concern with Nuss. Gunslinger bravado makes us careless. Yep. I think that's my one big concern. Damon Gilmore. Trivia, let's try this again. You missed this yesterday. Yesterday was my 16th anniversary married to my beautiful wife, Brittany. Can I get a shout out? Absolutely. See, trivia, if you were on time and got that in early. Happy anniversary, Brittany. I hope you'll have a wonderful day celebrating. I hope you had a wonderful day celebrating yesterday. And I hope that Mr. Carter treated you well, like the queen of the castle that you are. And I hope you all have many, many, many wonderful more years of wedded bliss and all good things. Cheers to you both. I'll toast my coffee. Congrats, guys. 16 years. Jesse Brown. Let's see. Walker. Thank you. Of course. Matt, biggest preseason injury to LSU player you felt altered a season? Ali Broussard 05. Preseason injury. I mean, I think Mason Smith wasn't preseason, but it was the first offensive or defensive series. Tearing his ACL was big. I mean, it wasn't an injury, but the most significant was Ryan Perlew getting kicked off the team. I mean, if you want to do the greatest what-ifs in LSU history, I would give you two. I would give you the Yeldon screen, because people lose sight of this. If Jalen Mills tackles TJ Yeldon and LSU beats Bama in 2012, then LSU's only loss is the Florida game, the hammer and nail 12-6 game. I think it was 12-6, whatever, 12-10, 13, whatever it was. 13-10 maybe. And LSU goes and plays Notre Dame for the national championship, blows them out. And then you have what feels like vengeance from 2011. Instead, that started LSU on this 8-game losing streak spiral, and Saban would have had one less national championship and all that stuff. So that's one, is the Yeldon play. If you make that tackle on the Yeldon play. Number two is Ryan Perlew, because if Perlew doesn't get kicked off the team, you never have to play a young Jarrett Lee who has the interception season and all that stuff, which sent Les Miles into a shell. People forget when Les was here early, they did open up the offense. I mean, 07 with Gary Croton, they were, he was the wizard and they were wide open and fun, scored 40 a game. Only after that 08 season did Les go into a shell. Say, we're going to play defense, run the football. We're never losing like that again. So, anyway, didn't really answer your question, but that would be my sort of roundabout answer. Hey, Brent, good morning. Come on now. Carl the Cat, good morning. Have you set a hat party yet? Not yet, Carl. Don't really know the date we can do it. Talked about it last Friday. It's really tricky. Might have to be like a weeknight during the season. Brian, Matt, did you see the new rule MLB is trying to put? Pitchers should pitch a minute. Yeah, we did. Talked about that with Terrio last Friday, the minimum. I don't know if they'll do it, but be interesting. David, Vegas in a couple weeks. Can't wait. Same here, man. Southern Extreme, good morning. How you like 305 co-main and main event? Unfortunately, didn't get to see. Not totally surprised to see Duplessis win. Sports deep, man. Brett, think the new NFL kickoff is growing on me? Yeah, man. Like, I think everyone should be on board with this. It looks weird because it's not what we're used to seeing, but you're actually getting kick returns now. Like, the kickoff return had become a sham. Like you were just having guys go run a 50-yard wind sprint because nobody was ever returning 80% of the kickoffs were touchbacks. Now 80% of the kickoffs are returned. They brought that play back into the game. I think it's a great rule. Weston Weaver, Kevin Toller, 11 days to kickoff. Who is your favorite number 11 in LSU history? Off the top of my head, can I say Brady James? Ryan Perlew. I'm sure there's obvious ones that I forget, but just first one to pop in my mind was Brady James. Wendell, good morning. NOLA TX is Whiskey and Wine locked down in Mandalay Bay. Yes, we are at Mandalay Bay for Whiskey and Wine in the MGM Sportsbook. Seth, am I wrong to think Nuss will cost him a couple games of being aggressive? Maybe, Seth. But we haven't seen him play. That's the thing. Like, he didn't cost you the game against Wisconsin. Now, he did throw a pick late in the first half, and you came up with a stop, but so it could have cost you. You know. David Bass, good morning. I got about 4 minutes. Brian, can you name the starting defense after moving day? How do we look? Yeah, I think go listen to Locked On, Brian, because I played a clip from Brian Kelly, and he says at point blank, he says, I think we get caught up sometimes with who the starters are, but really he said, if they were out there today, their guys were getting ready to play against USC. And I think they're going to play a lot of guys. But I think the first ones on the field, if they open up in dime or in nickel against SC, which they probably will, your ends will be Savion Jones, Braden Swinson. Your tackles will be Gio Paez and Jacobian Guillory, Harold Perkins. And so let's see. When they go nickel, I think Witt is who goes in when they've been nickel. I need to check my notes. Let's say they open up in a base defense. So then it'll be Harold Perkins, Greg Penn. Your corners would be Sage Ryan and Ashton Stamps. Your star would be Major Burns, and then your safeties will be Jordan Gilbert and Jordan Allen. Now, I do think Kylan Jackson has made a move and has a chance to really challenge Jordan Allen. Because if there's one guy on that defense that I would look at and say they're ripe for the picking, I would say it's Jordan Allen. It's not to say he's not a good player. He's been around for 3 years from LCA, but that's one where I could see one of the young talented guys making a move either early or through the season, and maybe taking that job. So we get media availability tomorrow, Wednesday. Brent, Lou Tepper wrote a book about playing defense. Yeah, man. Wasn't it called The Ultimate Guide to Linebacker? What was the book called? Oh, I hear Drew. Complete Linebacking. That's what it was. Complete Linebacking. All right, Drew's up. Hang on. Get dressed and go to New St. Lillian. Okay. All right, let's see. Please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, Facebook, like the page, share the post, all that stuff. I am down to my final few minutes here. Let's see. I'm going to go quickly. Gunner, Chris. Other what if Tyron wasn't an excuse from the team in 2012. Would have been fun to see him, rip and roar for another year in Baton Rouge, no doubt. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get Irfan Sayad, Brian Turner, Spencer Ware was 11. Yeah. I'd take Brady James over Spencer Ware. Bubba, good morning. John, good morning. Milton Saints D-line looked great. Foskey looks slow and small. Coach Nate Green. Let's see, Matt. Will Whiskey and Wine happen at Don Juan outside of USC? Yes. Yeah. So we will be there. We'll be in Vegas for the first game. Every game subsequent will be at Don Juan. All right, y'all. I gotta go. I'm just gonna try to get one more in. I apologize. Look, there we go. Deborah, 25th anniversary is noted. There you go, Deborah. Happy work anniversary, Deborah. Hope you have a great day as well. Kevin, you still watching sports for entertainment purposes? Yeah, dude. I love the sports bet. I play my Otter Locks every night. Okay. I got to bounce, y'all. Got to get Drew ready and get him to school. Thanks so much for being there. Hey, shout out to all of our sponsors. They're all linked in the description on YouTube, and I'll tag them in the post on Facebook. And you need orthopedist Brock, you need a roof, give us a shout at Parrish. Shout out to Unique Physique and Restored Motions. Semaglutide and tirzepatide, the once-a-week injections for weight loss. Unique Physique can help. Telemed, so you don't even have to go in the office. They can ship anywhere in the country. So you can be outside of Baton Rouge. They can still help. And 50% off your first month here in August. So if you're wanting to try it, give them a shout at Unique Physique. And, of course, if you got pain, book a session with Crystal Poche over at Restored Motions. Y'all have an awesome day. Locked on LSU is live, AFR 3. We'll see you.